want to teach you about the Battle of Blair Mountain. It's a bit of a complicated story. We're set in 3 counties in West Virginia during the very early 1920s. These counties, which were Logan, McDowell, and Mingle, were large for the coal industry. Thousands upon thousands of coal miners worked in these, and they didn't receive the same rights that you and I have today. These workers wanted the ability to unionize so that they could bargain for their rights. But the coal companies wouldn't let them unionize, and they stopped them with intimidation tactics. One of the ways they kept workers from unionizing was forcing them to sign papers saying that they wouldn't, and if they did, private detectives would be sent to their homes to evict them. This ended up becoming a problem when a large group of detectives figured out that a union was gaining traction in these areas. So they went to evict the men, hoping to stop the union where it was gaining popularity. The problem with this was that a sheriff and a mayor in the local area heard about it and realized that this was wrong. So the mayor, sheriff, and a group of miners that they got to go with them stopped the private detectives, which led to a verbal argument between the two and a gunfight. This ended up becoming known as the May Twin Massacre. It killed 7 of the private detectives, 2 of the miners, and the mayor. This would spark a long battle where miners would strike with the help of the union, and coal companies would go in, evict or fight with miners, and then bring in replacement workers to break the strike, which all escalated to several months of guerrilla warfare. So, from 1920 to 1921, there was such unrest. Eventually, the sheriff that fought in the May Twin Massacre was assassinated by private detectives on the courthouse steps of his county. Miners decided that that was too much because they respected how he had fought for them. They ended up deciding to march. They were going to go to Mingle to confront the coal companies at their headquarters. What they didn't know is that Blair Mountain lay between them and where they were going. When they reached Blair Mountain, which was in Logan County, they were almost 10,000 men strong. The only problem was that Logan was not a friendly town for them, and the sheriff there was anti-union and much unlike the one which had fought for the miners. The ensuing battle, which took place at Blair Mountain between the Logan County Sheriff's men and the miners, was one of the largest battles to take place in the area. Eventually, after days of fighting, in October and September of 1921, federal troops had to be sent in. There, they stopped the miners, and eventually the uprising was quelled. 20 or so Union men were charged with treason, and hundreds of other miners with murder, although largely they were all acquitted. But this killed the Union in the area, and they didn't make any leeway back in until after the Great Depression.